Recently, a disabled version of the HIV or the human immunodeficiency virus was found to be effective in treating a leukemia patient in the U.S. Doctors from the University of Pennsylvania took white blood cells from patients and used a modified form of the HIV to genetically alter the cell. And when these modified cells were injected back into the body, they would attach to cancer-causing cells and eventually destroy them. 12 patients took part in the clinical trial, and already one success story has emerged. If the procedure is proved to be effective, it could replace bone marrow transplant as a leukemia treatment. When Chinese net users came to know about the medical breakthrough, the internet was abuzz with comments filled with amazement and hope. Let's take a look.
I just hope this new technology can save more people's lives. I think this new technology is worthy of a major award in the biological sciences, and certainly this new technology would be an important contribution to humanity. We have an old saying that misfortune may be a blessing in disguise. From the despair of HIV, people have found hope for leukemia patients. Using poison to fight poison? Is this for real?
The idea of fighting poison with poison comes from traditional Chinese medicine. Now, ancient records show that some doctors suggested treating poisonous animal bites with more poison, as the two substances would interact with each other to remove the poison from the victim. Later, the term became an expression that could be applied to a wider array of topics. For example, pitting two enemies against each other. Now let's take a look at netizens who expressed some worry over the new procedure.
It sounds good, but would the patient get HIV later? Is there a chance that this cell would mutate? Will the procedure create a newer and stronger virus? That would be really terrible. To be honest, I'm worried that some incurable diseases will come as a result of this new technology.
China is no stranger to the super virus. In 2002, severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, swept through the country before becoming a global health pandemic. The SARS virus originated from civet cats before being mutated into a form that was easily spread among humans. According to numbers published by the World Health Organization, the pneumonia-like disease killed nearly 800 people in the two-year period between 2002 and 2004 as it swept across the globe. Now let's go back to see some other issues that netizens are bringing up about the new procedure to use HIV to help cure cancer.
Would treatment be expensive? Most people won't be able to afford it if it's really expensive. This news is indeed very exciting, but we need to consider two more aspects. First, the true outcome of the clinical trial still needs to be monitored to ensure there are no severe side effects. Second, if the procedure is found to be effective, there is still the issue of how to promote this technique and make it available to even more patients.
During World AIDS Day on December 1st, Li Keqiang, China's vice premier and soon-to-be premier, called HIV and AIDS not only a medical issue but also a social challenge. According to the China Daily, nearly 30,000 people died of HIV and AIDS in China last year, and nearly 70,000 new cases were reported this year, according to Chinese state media. After a blood scandal in the central provinces in the 90s where contaminated blood donations infected tens of thousands of people with the virus. Now, China has made a series of reforms to address the HIV/AIDS problem in China. For example, in 2010, China lifted a ban that prevented foreigners with HIV from visiting the country. A UN AIDS report also showed that the number of people receiving antiretroviral treatment for HIV has increased by 50% in 2011 compared to the year prior. And you can be sure that Chinese net users will be watching closely to see how the new cancer treatment unfolds. According to China's Ministry of Health, cancer is the leading cause of death in the country, responsible for more than 1/4 of all deaths in China. And as is the case with many developing countries, as China becomes richer, diseases associated with poverty, such as infant mortality rates, fall, while diseases that plague developed nations, such as heart disease and cancer, rise. Pushing China's cancer rate even higher is the toxic substances produced as an offshoot of industrialization that its citizens breathe in every day. As this new medical technique comes to fruition and as Chinese Weibo users take it to the internet to make their views become known, We'll keep you updated here on Microblog Buzz on what's buzzing here in China.